Alright, well, I'm locked in my apartment and I've got a lot more time in my hands now that we're not supposed to go out and play anymore, so figured this was a good time to maybe make a half-ass tutorial, or I guess maybe not a tutorial, a half-ass walkthrough on how I made this thing, in case anyone was curious how it was built. So, let's just dig in. I've got a mask here. It's kind of hard to see, but if I zoom in, boop, you see these little grass at her feet. If you go to the eraser tool, you can see I downloaded some grass brushes. So all I really did was erase her feet with a eraser that looks like grass, and then the actual grass from the background became the grass that's at her feet. So that's what that is. And then let's scroll down to group 1. Oh god, this is gonna be so disorganized. So this is a huge group that contains a bunch of adjustment fills that I made, or adjustment layers that are fill layers. So I'm just gonna toggle some of these on so you can see. This was my original mask. I'm gonna zoom out so you can see a little better. Kind of use this as my guide to build all the other ones. You can see this one's like the arm fabric. Try to do some stuff with her lips. I obviously didn't like any of that stuff, so I got rid of it. This is also not a cape. It's very obviously a skirt, so not really sure what was going on there, but whatever. I'm kind of actually digging that now. I gotta stop looking at this thing because I keep changing my mind about what I like. But what I really love about this is that if you hold down Command and I click the mask area, I can always make another adjustment layer and do all sorts of other things without really touching any pixels. So that's how a lot of the color in the fabric is made. And then if I go to the next part, woman copy, because I have not cleaned these files up. Let's see what we're working with here. So if I just double click this, this is the image that I worked with to create this piece. I found it on Unsplash. I was really interested in seeing if I could get the fabric to still be translucent, but on an image background. And so I did some new stuff to play with getting it so that this is translucent, but this isn't. And so the way I actually did that is, you see this layer is set to screen. And I have another fill layer below it that's black. If I get rid of that, you can see that she becomes see-through, which is something I actually really like the look of, but I think I'm going to use that for something else, and keep this as is for this particular manipulation, because I was challenging myself with trying to play with translucence in a more realistic fashion than I think I've done in the past, so I thought that was a success. Yeah, you can see I have a separate one for the hair. Gradient map is another adjustment layer down here in this panel. What this does, if I double click, is it's taking in the black and white image all the things that are black are this like brown color, and all the like highlight points have turned into this, which just helps push it so it looks a little bit more like skin tone. It's kind of like one technique people use to recolor black and white images. I did a couple tutorials to try to figure out how to do that, because I haven't actually done that very much in the past, so that was a fun part of trying to figure out how the hell to make this thing. By just changing the color and tweaking a couple settings. And so having the two of them together builds on the glow and makes it a little bit more realistic, which I think is pretty cool. You go below that. Color grading. I'm going to zoom out so you can get a better look at this. This is what the photo originally looked like. I was with Sony in New Zealand. It was a really cool day. The fog was wild. There was all this frost on the grass. It's one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had as a photographer. But I decided for this that I wanted to bump the reds in the grass to just give it, I guess, a more cinematic feel. And if you look within, I'm using selective color to do that. I kept 1 on as a base, but then I pushed it a little bit further with 4. And last night I had 3, and I'm honestly still not sure what I'm into with these right now. So they'll probably be a 5 or a 6 before I finish the piece, but whatever. You know, I need to just get it out there, because the more I keep staring at it, the more I keep changing things. I've edited this like 1,000 times. I've been playing with day to night for a long time. I've got some tutorials on it, but the way that this effect is made, you can see this is just darkening the image, is just a curves adjustment and then a color fill, which I think is set to linear light, yeah, at 20%. And then I have another curves layer, which is just bumping right where she's standing to make it just a bit brighter because she's glowing. And then here, the last touch I noticed is I made this whole thing, and then like this would have been in the foreground, and I tried some stuff where I erased it, and then it just looked stupid, so I was like, bye, I don't like you anymore. So yeah, that's that. More to come. Stay safe out there.